Welcome to the Point of Difference Rugby League podcast. I'm your host, Dave, and today we're going back in the day with one of the great halves from the 90s, one of my favourites from back then. And, he's the first Hunter Mariner I've ever actually had on the show. It's been pretty tough tracking these blokes down. So, welcome to the show, Noel Goldthorpe. How are you, man?
Good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Oh, Blake, big smile, man. It's great to have
Yeah,
you on
nah,
the
I
show.
love the jumper. I love the jumper, Dave. Good
Yeah,
work.
man. I got a bit of shit for putting this. I put a photo on the Facebook group, like pretty big group growing, and I was like, I'm not sure about this jersey, and a lot of people are very unhappy with me. Big
Oh,
Kiwis and
mate,
all.
she's a pretty popular jumper, that one.
Oh, mate, the history of the Dragons jersey is phenomenal. Like some of the greatest names in rugby league. It's bloody fantastic. So, what are you up to these days, mate? What you been doing with yourself?
Oh, mate, I'm busy, man. I've a grandfather of what, five now.
Okay, all
So
right.
yeah, family's growing rapidly, and I do some work for a company on the Sunshine Coast called Green RV. They
Okay.
deal in caravans, motorhomes. So I do all the wholesale stuff for them guys, and coming up to 10 years in January. So it's been my life for the last 10 years.
Working, man. So that must keep you pretty busy, and you get down the beach and still have a good time these days.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we're living in the sunny coast in Noosa there. So, mate, I'm always
Beautiful.
out in the longboard out somewhere and love it. It's a great place in the world. And yeah, we're settled here now and all the families local as well. So it makes my job very easy.
Oh, nice, man. That's beautiful. So good. So, all right, man, let's rewind the clock. Noel Goldthorpe, where did you grow up and what was life like for you as a young fella before you got into rugby league?
Yeah, okay. I'm a Sydney boy, so I was born in actually Botany Bay, down around Botany Bay there, and yeah, I grew up there from the age of from zero up until about 12 years old. I
Okay.
then moved into the St George area, a place called Hurstville.
Yep.
Spent my teenage years there, and with my mum, and then obviously I got graded. I started at Western Suburbs in Sydney before I
Okay.
went to Dragons. I
Yep.
had a couple of trials in the lower grades, but I had no luck with that. And then a former coach of the Dragons, John Bailey, he was
Yep.
coaching Western Suburbs at the time and asked me to come down and had a trial. I went down and had a trial, and I was fortunate enough he gave me a start. And then yeah, I spent 3 years down at Campbelltown in Sydney. So
Yeah, man.
that was interesting.
I bet it was. What was it like as a young fella walking into the team? There's quite a few like big names back then. You had Ivan Henjack, Jason Taylor, had Kiwi legend Brendan Tudor, playing
Yeah.
alongside those guys. Oh, we love
It,
Toots down here, mate. It's all like walking in as a young fella with all those blokes around.
well, at the time, Warren Ryan was coaching as well. See, so living at Hurstville, all the Canterbury boys like Paul Langmack, Dave Gillespie, Joey Thomas, like all these guys, they would come past my house pretty much. So I'd carpool with these guys.
Okay.
So I'm a 20-year-old, sitting in the car with these legends. I just I just sit in the back in the corner, not say nothing, just listen. I'd just stay in my lane, and I learned so much from them guys. Like it was incredible. The stories are funny as well. We used to have a good laugh, but listening to Warren Ryan talk
Yeah.
about football, Paul Langmack, it was very special, mate. It was Paul Langmack's very important part of my career, I reckon, and I haven't had the opportunity to say anything to him as yet, but hopefully I can run into him soon and thank him for all the knowledge he provided me with.
Oh, mate, he's such a champion player. He's one of those great forwards through the 90s and earlier.
Oh,
What a great player. So
very
good.
clever. He was very smart, like, and helped me immensely with my reading numbers and so forth, and
Right.
picking picking out, as we call them, spot players, weaker defenders and so forth. So, nah,
Uh-huh.
it was a great experience for me. But the funny thing is, at the end of the third year, I was really the travel was like really taking its toll. Like I was doing
Yeah.
that probably 3 days a week and an hour and a half each way, and I was working in the bakery as well. So I'd
Oh, wow.
started. Yeah, so it was pretty tough. I was starting at 11 o'clock in the night, finish at
Oh,
about 8 in the morning, trying to sleep through the day. And then I'd get up at about 3 o'clock to head to Campbelltown, you know. So
oh
I'd done
man.
that there a few years. And, but, you know, I knew if that's what I wanted to do, that's what I had to do. And at the end of the 3 years, I told Warren Ryan that I was probably going to go back and play local football because I wasn't making a lot of money. And
Yeah.
I was playing reserve grade mainly, and he said, "We want you to stay, but we can't give you any more money." So I said, "I'm just going back to play local." So
Okay.
a friend of mine, yeah, a friend of mine then knew Brian Smith and said, "Do you want to have a chat to him?" And I sort of went, whatever." And anyway, I got a call one day, Brian Smith,
Yeah.
give me a
Oh,
call
good.
and said, "Come in for a chat." So I went in for a chat, and I'm sitting there with Brian. Anyone knows Brian? He's probably same height as me, so he's only a smaller bloke, and he's got this big, firm handshake. He nearly shook my arm
Yeah.
off my shoulder, and then we had a bit of a chit chat, bit of a talk, and then he says to me, "So why do I need another halfback?" He goes, "I've got four halfbacks," and I didn't know really what to say, and I was sort of, I took a step back, and I'm thinking, "Well, you asked me to come here." But then I don't know why I said this, but I just said to him, "Yeah, I know. I played against all them halfbacks. I think I'm better than them guys." And
Oh wow.
yeah, so I said that to him, and then he continued to throw me negatives. So like, well, you'll be
Okay.
starting off the bench in reserve grade, and you know you'll be starting off the bench, and blah blah blah. And I said, look, in the end, I just said to him, mate, I don't care where I start, just give me an opportunity.
Yep.
And then he kept going negative, negative, negative. And then I've just sort of said, Brian, I said, you give me an opportunity, I won't let you down.
Perfect.
And then I
Good.
wore him down. I wore him down after about half an hour. I wore him down and he stood up and he shook my hand and he said, I'll see you Tuesday. And, you know,
Wicked.
the rest was history. Yeah, I got stuck into the preseason. And then I got my first game with the Dragons was Charity Shield against South.
Yep.
And Andrew Walker and I made our debuts together.
Oh,
And
wicked.
yeah, so the second game I was thrown into the first grade squad and taken up to Rockhampton, played a
Okay.
trial there, and then from then on, mate, I was in the seven jersey. Yeah, so it was a
Absolutely.
it was a pretty quick rise for me from where I was. Yeah,
Yeah, man. So just to rewind a little bit, when you did make your debut at Western Suburbs, what was it like running on, like knowing you're making your first grade debut as a young fella, getting out there amongst all the men? You know, did they try to rough you up a bit, or did they give it to
oh
you out on the?
yeah. Well, lucky enough for me, I was opposite Jeff Tuvey, so he's the same
Oh
height as
wow.
me.
Oh,
and
Tubes. Oh,
I remember this is one thing that stood out in my first grade debut was I went in for a tackle on Des Hasler and I tackled him around the quads,
yeah.
and it was like hitting a brick wall. And I've just hit him and went, "Oh my God." And I just thought, shit, I've got some work to do.
Yeah.
So that was my biggest, like, I couldn't believe how hard his legs were, Desi. And yeah, it was an eye opener, but it was certainly after 10 minutes, mate, I'm thinking, fucking hell, I can't breathe. And then I'm thinking, I've got another 70 minutes of this.
Oh,
So
that's
no,
bloody fantastic. How good is that?
it was very interesting debut.
Yeah, man. Oh, mate. Man, what was the game like back then? Like, say, because today's like the speed of the game is electric, but was it still like really fast back then? Because was the 5 meter rule still in play then?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that 5 meter rule was in, and then yeah, it was still back in the day. It was obviously a lot quicker than reserve grade where I've been playing. So it's a different a step up again into first grade. So it was. I noticed that straight away. Like 10 minutes into the game, I was struggling. I was in all sorts of trouble, but you get your way through it. And yeah, unfortunately we got beat, but it was a great experience for me. And from that
Okay.
day, I knew I had some stuff to work on. Obviously, my strength was important. Yeah, to compete with them guys.
Yeah, well, so you're still working, but did you like do anything extra off the field training wise to? like after that experience to think, right, I really want this, so I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go train myself stupid. Like, was there anything you did back in those days?
Oh, we trained pretty hard at West Day. Like at West, we were working real hard in the gym, and I worked extremely hard in the gym. So I knew if I
Okay.
wasn't a big guy, I had to be strong to deal with the punishment that was coming my way. So I'd done that. I got myself as strong as I could be, and and thank God I did because there's some big lads trying to kill you at times.
Absolutely. So moving back to your Dragons, like you turn up to the Dragons, you've told the coach, give me an opportunity. You've taken that opportunity. You walk in, there's your Ricky Walfords, Mark Coynes, Brad Mackay's, Tony Priddles, like David Barnhill, Scott
Yeah.
Goulart. Like what a roster. Like how did you feel walking in as the new kid on the block? I'm going to own this team. And did you have the confidence to just bark them around the field and tell them what you needed to do?
Oh, not straight up. Like I remember one of our training sessions. Brian Smith, he was coach obviously, and then I messed up a play, and he just stopped the play and he just turned around and he goes, "Oi," he goes, "If you do that again," he said, "you can piss off back to Western Suburbs. I don't want you here." And
Oh my God.
I didn't know what to do, and I sort of dropped my head, and
Okay.
Corny come over. Mark Coyne come over, he put his arm around me, and he goes, don't worry about him. He's just a grumpy bastard anyway." But
Oh
yeah,
wow.
and Brian Smith rode me pretty hard, and you know,
Okay.
and I thank him for that because I probably needed him to do what he done, and he probably knew he needed to do that for me. So in the end, it
Okay.
worked out. We had a pretty good relationship at the end, and
Right.
yeah, yeah. I remember him saying to me one day, we're walking to the game, and he's walking with his wife, and he goes, "Hey Goldie, my wife said something to me today that," he said, "it was very interesting." And I go, "Oh yeah, what was that?" He goes, "She told me if you don't play well, we don't play well." And I went, "All right, no worries."
I'll take
So yeah,
that.
yeah. So he put the pressure on me. Yeah, I got to play well every week. So no,
Right.
and we had a great squad. I remember the Dragons back in the '90s, the early '90s. We were a very tight knit bunch of boys. We used to have a lot of fun together, but we worked hard together as well. So, you know, some great memories there with all the Dragons boys. Great
I
club.
bet you do, man. Yeah, man. So you had an amazing first season with the Dragons. You kicked 3 field goals. You went into your first final series, second place on the ladder. Then you're playing Newcastle the first round of the playoffs. So were you nervous or were you just plain excited to go rip in and get it done?
Oh no, we were so yeah, obviously nervous. I've never been on that stage before, so for me it was just I was just loved playing footy. Seriously,
Yeah.
it was like I was just like the first year I made the grand final. I think I my pay was 10 grand for the year.
Okay.
Uh, so mate, I wasn't playing for money. I was just loving what I was doing, and it was just all new to me, and I just loved it. Like yeah, it was special times, and yeah, you had to start somewhere, and I started straight at the top in a grand final. So
Oh,
there was
man.
yeah, the rest of the years I had to work pretty hard.
Yeah, man. So you had two of the more bizarre matches I think I've seen in final series, especially back to back because you beat Newcastle 3-2 and then you
Oh
went on
yeah,
to beat Illawarra 4-0 the next week to make the grand final. Like, talk me through that. That's ridiculous.
uh, that was just probably the quality of the teams. Both teams were pretty defensive, and we just
Right.
didn't want to inch. And there was plenty of opportunities, but no one could really finish them off. So fortunate for us, we got away with the one in Illawarra to move into the grand final. So
Yeah,
I
man.
remember that day vividly, and we probably celebrated like we won it afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, we come up
Right.
we come up against a fairly handy team in the end. The Broncos, they were on fire in
You did.
'92. So, to be honest, I said this before on a podcast. Be honest, deep down, I probably didn't think we could beat them, but we
Really?
tried. Yeah, we tried hard. They were probably a classy team. They probably had a little jump on us with class wise. So, but we tried our best for the first half, and we just tackled our rings out, and then second half we just ran out of petrol in the end, and
Yeah.
they put a score on us.
So, what was your feelings about going into that grand final, the build up, the team belief? Like, what was it like preparing for that grand final?
Oh, the whole week beforehand is just unbelievable. Like so busy with everything else bar football. So it's quite
Okay.
easily to get tied up in the media commitments, the grand final breakfast, like all this stuff that happens, like is not happening every other week. You're thrown into the spotlight. You're in the paper every day. Like it's just pretty full on week. And for me, you probably get lost in the media side of it instead of
Yeah.
having head in. But that's experience. So you only get that
Yeah.
stuff from experience. And we learned the second year what to do, and
Yes.
so you learn from the experience. But it is a very exciting week for the grand final. Everything focuses in on two teams, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Especially being a rookie.
yeah,
Oh,
for me,
wow.
the biggest buzz in the world. I remember coming down the tunnel to hit the field, and the Dragons always have great support. And as we run down, I say this to a lot of people, like they ask me about grand finals, and I remember it's just like a wind hits you, like
Yeah.
in the face, like the wind, but it's the roar of the crowd, and
Wow.
the hair on the neck was just standing up. And oh,
So
I
cool.
got the I got to meet Tina Turner. So what a day!
Oh, wow. Wow. Mate,
And
that's amazing. What good memories.
pretty exciting. A story. I was down in Sydney at Maroubra, a place called Maroubra, and I was with my wife at the time, and then we walked into this shop because we're looking for photo frames or something. And
Okay.
on the wall is a picture of that '92 grand final. All right,
Perfect.
it's taken at a wide lens, so it covers the whole Sydney football stadium, and
Wow.
it zooms in, and I'm in the photo, and I've just looked at this thing, and I've said, "Oh, no way, I'm grabbing that."
Yeah,
Like it
man.
was,
I don't care what it costs.
oh yeah, awesome photo of the whole Sydney football stadium, and
Wow.
probably about 10 players in the picture. So that's hanging up in my wall. Yeah, so I've got that one.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
That's so cool, man. That is so cool. So the Broncos, they scored a couple of tries in the first half. You guys got a terrific try to Ricky Walford. I mean, what a player he was. But
yeah.
you guys were in the match. What were the feelings after Walford scored? Because that was one of the greatest tries in that match. It kind of gets overlooked a little, in my opinion. So it was a beauty.
Yeah, yeah, we went wide, and then the boys, the boys broke through on the edge, and then obviously Panther, he finished it off at the end, and he's pretty deceptive with his pace, Ricky Walford. He only runs as fast as he have to run. When he stretches right out, he can get moving, as you've seen him chasing Pearl at the end. But
Yeah.
yes, that was a great try, that one, and obviously we didn't score enough of them.
No, but did your confidence levels go up a bit after that? Like, yep, we can score. We got one.
100%. We lifted again, and we thought let's work hard and get another one, and
Yep.
we just things didn't go our way at certain stages, but we're against a classy team as well, so we done the best we could at the time, and unfortunately we just come up too short.
Yeah, man. It's almost not fair when you get Steve Renouf go the length of the field in a grand final. One of the most biggest tries in grand final history, probably. And it's a horrible, painful feeling for you probably to recall it. But what do you think in that moment? You just see Steve Renouf go 100 meters and
Oh,
crush you guys.
yeah,
Basically that was the killer blow.
off that finished us off when I saw him take off, and from then on, I can't remember all the game, but I think they scored another one. Alan Can
Yeah.
tore us through
Yes.
the there at times as well. So we fought as long as we can. And I remember we had a meeting after the grand final with Brian Smith, and he said to us, he's never seen us all year so tired at halftime than we were in the grand final.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
He goes, I had fears at halftime. The look on your faces, like you've used so much petrol up in that first half. He was worried
Yeah.
about the half, and he wasn't wrong.
Do you just think though that 1992 Broncos side was the team that they were just everything aligned for them that season? Like they were so dominant. They were
Well,
crazy good.
like we had a few very tough games against them throughout the year, so it was yeah, I think we played them in Adelaide, and then we got them again. We went close in Adelaide. We come back. I think Andrew Walker missed the goal to level it up, to
Oh,
draw it,
okay.
and yeah, I think they beat us by two. And then I think we played them in 93. I think we played them at QE2 Stadium, and there was 60,000 people there. It was unbelievable. We beat them that night too. So we started to
Yeah.
get confidence in '93. So yeah,
Yeah,
we beat them,
man.
and we knew we could do it. So
That's
we were,
right. That was the final round of the season, wasn't it? It was
yeah, that
16-10, I
yeah,
think, off the top of my head.
yeah, yep, yep. You have got a
Yeah.
good memory. Cool,
Oh, I
but
love this stuff, mate.
yeah,
I'm a geek.
that gave us a lot of confidence going into the semi-finals again as well.
Yeah. Yeah. It was basically a carbon copy of 1992 for you boys. Second place on the ladder. A win against the Broncos in the final round. And then you guys were really dominating. I think you beat Canberra and the Roosters
Yeah,
going through and
we
making
touched
another
that
grand final.
up. Yeah, it was good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
we really played well through the semi-final series '93. So we went into the grand final with some, really good confidence under our belts, and hoping that we can get the job done this time.
Yeah. So what was the difference? Obviously, it was a lot closer scoreline. What was the difference in the build up and then the actual game on the day? Because it was definitely in the balance for a long time.
Yeah, it was in the balance for a long time, but we unfortunately it was just I don't know. Like I get asked this a lot, but you can't put a finger on it. What went wrong? What went right? Like we tried as hard as we could for as long as we could. Like we
Absolutely.
were there to try and win, but once again, we were playing very good opposition as well. So yeah, that was hard. The first 92 I wasn't so upset after the game. But
Yep.
93, yeah, definitely I was because yeah, I thought we just missed an opportunity.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Just how heartbreaking was it to lose back to back? Especially you've got more experience. Not everyone makes a grand final, but to lose two in a row must have just have been
Oh,
a knife in
yeah.
the heart,
And
mate.
then it was tough to swallow that one for me because the first year was like I was on cloud nine the whole way through the year, I was just enjoying the ride.
Absolutely.
Um, and it was just like all new to me. So I was just having the fun. I was having the time of my life. But
Yeah,
then you realise there is some serious stuff that's got to go on when you're playing footy. So
yeah,
yeah, we worked hard. I think that second year we won 17 games throughout that season.
yeah.
So
You guys were
we
literally,
only I think we only lost 4 games. So
yeah,
we were very consistent throughout the year, and yeah, we thought we could get that job done, but like I said, unfortunately, we just pulled up short again.
So, 1994, you guys missed the playoffs, but then 1995 rolls around and there's the dawn of a new era, the ARL. You've got four new clubs and there's players moving around all over the place. And then Super League sort of reared its ugly head. It was a bit of a
Yeah,
crazy time. So, uh, you know, how did that whole journey work out for you? Did you sign with Super League in that 95 and then have to come back to the Dragons because the players had to go back
yeah, I
because
did.
Super League didn't go ahead?
Yeah, well, I did. Well, no one spoke to me from the ARL, so I had a
Really?
manager at the no, I had a manager at the time. They headhunted our sort of big name players such as Goulay, Mark Coyne, Brad McCoy, um, Gordy Tallis and stuff like that. So yeah, I sort of was sitting there wondering what's going on. And anyway, my manager at the time, Wayne Beavers, he's told me Super League won't have a chat to us. So
Okay.
I said, let's do it. So
Right.
we went into the city, and Michael O'Connor was acting on behalf of Super League, and yeah, we had a chat, and he um, he laid out the spiel about Super League, where they're heading and what they're trying to achieve, and so forth. And then all of a sudden he turns around this bit of paper and says, "That's what we can offer you." I've looked at this thing and it's 5 times the amount I'm getting at the moment.
Where do I
So
sign?
I've just my eyes are just like dinner plates, and yeah. So my manager at the time said, "Oh yeah, can we go out and have an hour outside and have a talk and think about it?" And he goes, "Yeah, no worries." So anyway, I get outside. I say, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, settle down." So we end up signing a 5 year deal at the time, and
Wow.
yeah, I was. It was like, to be honest, it's a no brainer for me. Like it was a no
Of course.
brainer. Like, you know, I say this before, loyalty. All these guys that stayed with the ARL,
Yeah.
they got paid a lot of money to stay loyal. So anyone
Yeah.
that says they jumped either side, whatever, they done it for money. Like everyone,
Yeah.
loyalty was there, but the money helped them stay loyal as well. So if everyone's being fair, everyone looked after themselves and done the best they
Yeah.
could for themselves as well. And no one ever questioned how come they found all this money. Where was it before? So,
Yeah, that's
you
the
know,
question I want
like they're
to
offering
know.
blokes 400, 500,000 that they were on like 80,000 the year before, and all of a sudden they find all this money. But I think Packer come in and tipped a bit in there as well. So
Yeah.
you know, yeah, I don't begrudge anyone for what they done or the money they made. Good on them. And I was looking after myself and my family at the time, and
Yep.
you know, it's probably, you look back at it now, and I wish I stayed at the Dragons, but
Okay.
yeah, but at the time, I just thought I was doing what was best for me and my family, and yeah, things have worked out fine for me. I probably regret leaving the Dragons, but at the other hand, I made a lot more money. I played with some other players at some good clubs, and I finished at the Cowboys in the end. But
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed my time immensely at the Dragons. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So Super League didn't go ahead in 1996. Was it originally the plan to be at Hunter Mariners, or like was that
Yeah,
gonna be
yep.
96?
That's where I was signed. I was training there in the preseason with the Hunter, and all of a sudden they put an injunction on Super League, the
That's
NRL,
right.
and then I had to. There was no. I only wanted to go to one club. I
Okay.
rang I rang Brian Johnson straight away and said, "Hey mate, I want to come back. Do you want me to come back or not?" And he said, "Mate, yeah, when can you get here?" So yeah,
Really? Oh,
there
lucky.
was yeah. So at the time, I thought they might have been Super League might have been a bit dirty that I went back to an ARL club, but I didn't even think like that. If I was
Okay.
playing, if I had to go back, I was only going to play for one club, and that was the Dragons. I wanted to stay at the St George, so I went back for '96 at the Dragons. Yeah, I spent the next 12 months there.
Yeah, because a lot of players had to go find a club for 1 year. I think Kevin Campion, he came over with you as well, and
Yeah,
from the
champion.
Rams,
Yeah,
and
yeah, good.
then you guys went to a grand final together. How amazing!
I
Like,
know.
lucky you went back.
I know. That's what I thought. It just worked out so good. Like the team we had, it wasn't a star-studded team. It was a lot of younger guys that are coming through the Dragons system, and obviously a sprinkle of older boys with Kevin Campion turning up and stuff. And
Yep.
I was just with Campo on the weekend. Actually, we had a
Oh, brilliant.
Legends game. Yeah, we had a Legends game here in Gundawindi, and yeah, a few of the ex-players were there. It was good fun. We
Oh,
pulled up,
nice.
had a few laughs, threw the ball around. It was good fun.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I love Kev. I had him on the show right when I started this nearly a year ago, and oh, he's just a champ. We love him in New Zealand. When he came to the Warriors, like just
Yeah.
one of the favourites. Always will be.
Oh, yeah, great player, mate, and even better, he's a great man. As all you Kiwis would vouch for him, mate. He's
Absolutely.
one of the best there. So he was awesome for us that year at the Dragons too. Really good. He held the middle together really good for us, and done a great job. We speak about that regularly that year, like how
Yeah.
good it was. Like we said, we just kept chipping away. I remember we were about 8 or 9 weeks out from the finals, and Jeff Hardy at the time, he'd go, "Boys, come here, training coming in," and everyone comes in. Jeff had a big presence at the Dragons too. Everyone really respected his input, and
Okay.
he said, "We're 9 weeks away from the semis." He goes, "If we're going to make the finals, we've got to start making the run now, like
Okay.
this." And we go, "Oh, righto, righto." and then I think we went on a roll and we ended up
We
winning
did.
like a big streak into the finals. So yeah, we bought in and everyone bought into it and said, right, let's
Yeah.
rip in and see where we go.
Yeah, it was a bit of a season of two halves, wasn't it? You're sort of bit sort of clunky to start the year, and then from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
back
yeah.
end of the year on, you literally just you won like 10 or 12 in a row and all the way through to the final. Pretty impressive roll on.
Oh, it was. We knocked over some big teams on the way through too, and so the further we went, the more the confidence was building with the team, and we had some good young boys coming through. Lance Thompson at the time
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh,
God
rest
bless
in
him.
peace.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but we had Lance coming through. We had a good crop of young boys coming through, and as well as some senior guys sprinkled in amongst them. And yeah, we really done a good. We done really well. Where we once again thought we could win, but
Yeah.
we pulled up short again. That was
Yeah.
devastating for me. Yeah,
I guess Manly would have been hurting from a shock loss to the Bulldogs in '95 in the grand final, and then
yeah.
coming up against you guys. I guess they had everything to prove to themselves as well. So what's it like, man, being out there third grand final? Like, what are some of your memories from that game?
Oh, we I just remember like Mundine was on fire that year, like especially the back half of the season. He was just in a purple patch and he got us out of so much trouble at times. We
Yeah,
just needed something and he was the man. He was the man that produced it when we needed it. And we had a solid pack of forwards that kept doing their job and just turning up for
yeah,
us all the time. So we just hung in there, and we knew if we could dominate the possession of the ball, then we'd give ourselves the best chance to win the game.
yeah. You guys were in it. It wasn't one of those big blowout games again. So like your '93 final it was just kind of one of those ones that.
I think it was with Reggie off the kickoff. That sort of just
Oh yes,
threw us into a bit of a spin, and they. Was he tackled? Wasn't he tackled? But the
yeah,
ref
that's
called
the
he
one.
wasn't. So yeah, that sort of, and I think they scored from that set,
They
which
did.
set us on the back foot. So we just didn't recover from that, and unfortunately, it was another one.
Yeah, when I watched that back, so I've seen those highlights a few times. I'm pretty sure he's held.
Oh, hey, when you look at it, he was held, but
It was
that's
weird.
it's a spur of the moment thing, and I think Dave Manson, who at the time was refereeing, he must have had his money on Manly, I think.
Oh mate, oh unlucky man. So, a tough question. Like, what's it? How hard is it to be in three grand finals and just not quite get there at all three? That has to be. That has to
Yeah,
hurt.
it's tough. And like to be honest, at the end of the thing, we got another silver medal. So I had three silver medals and we went back to the Leagues Club, and everyone was sort of, it was everyone was happy for us, but it's sad at the same time. And I remember Ricky Walford because he was a legend of our club, and he actually didn't get the run on the grand final, and
Okay.
and so I presented him with my medal because
Oh,
I
nice.
thought it was he was on the bench, but he didn't get a medal, and I thought, nah, this guy deserves a medal one way or another. So I had two of the silver bastards. I didn't need another one.
Oh, that's a nice,
if it
nice
was
thing
a
to
if
do.
it was a ring, I don't know if I could have handed it over to him.
Fair play, fair play.
Yeah. So no, it was and as I say, like some of our great players never play grand finals, mate. I'm privileged to play in three. I know I didn't win one, but just to have the opportunity to play in three, and as I know how hard it is to make them, and the
Yeah,
amount of work that's got to be done. If you ask any of the first graders, mate, the pinnacle is the grand final, and to get there, there's a lot of hard work that's got to be done, and
yeah.
so it is the pinnacle. And unfortunately, I've come up empty three times. I tell everyone I've got 100% record in the grand final. So if you want to win
Oh,
a
mate.
grand final, you can't have me as your halfback.
Mate, I think it's very impressive to be in three grand finals. It's a shame you didn't win one, but still impressive all the same. It really is. So, moving on to 1997. So, Super League's back on. Now, I'm very curious to hear about the Hunter Mariners. Like as I said at the start, I've never got to chat to someone who's played for the Mariners, and it's a real
Yeah.
interesting slice of history, if you ask me. The Super League year, but then the Hunter Mariners again is even more interesting because it's this ragtag bunch of fellas thrown together at the last
Oh,
minute to take on the Newcastle Knights to try sway the fans. Like, what's it like when you got to Hunter Mariners, being a part of that, and pretty much being hated by the entire Hunter community?
oh
What's that
yeah,
like?
yeah, yeah. We're the enemy in Newcastle. Um, it was different, but we even though all the players come from different clubs, Graham Murray done an excellent job in putting the team together and making the boys unify the boys. Graham Murray was very good at social. He liked the
Okay.
boys to have a drink and have a good
Yep.
time, and he said we can drink hard, but we're going to train hard as well. So
Okay.
he was good at bringing the team together. He knew how to do that, and he certainly done a good job of that because our Hunter Mariner team, we were sort of all pretty close again, and
Yeah.
it was a good year. We had some great players, and as you could see, a lot of the players went on from the Hunter Mariners to have some great careers in the NRL as well.
Absolutely. Like Robbie Ross, Scott Hill, Brett Kamora, they all
Yeah.
became the nucleus, and Richard Swain, that
Yep.
Melbourne Storm dynasty, they were unbelievable. Yeah,
I
Tony
know
Edo in there as
we
well.
had the Oro
Uh,
boys there, Kevin and
yeah,
Tony, and
crazy.
yeah,
Not bad.
Willie poaching.
Oh yeah, Willie.
Yeah,
Good
so
man.
yeah, we had some interest and some good characters as well. As you need, like at every club, the
Yeah.
characters are the ones that make it. And yeah, we had some great times at the Hunter, that's for sure.
Yeah, man, you did well. And then obviously you got picked for your first sort of state of origin. We'll call it state of origin series
Yeah,
with New
yeah,
Zealand in there.
the
You got
Tri
picked in the Tri
Series, yeah.
Series. Yeah, you're the halfback. You beat New Zealand. You beat Queensland. What's it like playing that rep arena for you? What's that like?
Well, that was the final. I was on the bench for the final, and someone I can't remember. Someone withdrew. Someone pulled out the hooker, maybe Gower. I can't
Okay,
remember exactly now, but yeah, Tim Sheen's. I remember Tim Sheen said you're starting, and he goes, "Oh, he apologised to me because I couldn't wear number 7 because it was
okay,
already in the program." And he said, "Oh, mate, I'm so sorry, I can't put you in 7." And I said, "Oh, mate, I'm all good with that. Like it doesn't
yep,
matter. I'm like I appreciate the opportunity. Um, yeah, just to be in the longest game in history
yeah,
and so forth. The thing that was very surprising for me was Ian Robertson, Glenn Lazarus, mate. Like them
yeah.
guys, they were rucking the ball up as hard as they could. Like in the first
They're
minute,
amazing.
in the last minute, they would.
Yeah,
And I'm looking at these guys, just thinking, yeah,
wow.
they're beasts. Like, and like to play with guys like Laurie, and like it was just a star-studded team, ET, Bradley
Yeah,
Clyde, like, and the list goes on.
amazing.
It's just an amazing feeling for me. And but it was funny because I had 2 shots beforehand, and
Yeah,
the Queenslanders knew it was coming to me, so they were really sweating up on me and putting a lot of pressure on me. So I said to Laurie, I said, listen, next time, I said, you set up the other side. And
okay,
Laurie and I and Luke Brittis, I think it was, we said, next time, go to Laurie. They're sweating on me. Shoot to Laurie, and Laurie, you have a go. So anyway, we get down into position, and Luke Brittis takes off from dummy half.
yeah,
So he runs the ball to the middle. Robbie Ross got to dummy half. He wasn't in on the memo, where the play was going. So I'm looking at Laurie thinking, mate, yeah, here we go. And next thing you know, I look up and the ball's coming straight towards me. I've shit myself. I've gone, oh no. And I grabbed the ball, I caught the ball, and I just thought I had to drop it on the foot and go. And I knew straight away, mate, as soon as I hit it, it was sweet. And I just knew it was going and it was gone. So,
that's so
and then
cool.
we celebrated. Yeah, it was very special. Yeah, one of my highlights of my career.
Absolutely. You finally got the chocolates in the final.
About
It's
time.
so
Yeah.
cool to kick the winning field goal. That's what you dream of as a kid, right? I mean,
Oh,
that's what it's all about.
yeah, that's like every kicker's dream to
Yeah.
win the game by a goal kick or a field goal. So, yeah, for
Yeah,
me,
man.
it was. And even like the Queenslanders were such good, like they were good about it as well. We went out after the game. Both teams were at the same venue, drinking
Yeah.
beers, and having fun together. It was a very special time back
Yeah,
then
man.
too. So yeah, it was very, very rewarding for me as well.
Mate, I'd never forget that game. I think I was 13 years old watching that. Stayed up late to watch it here in New Zealand because it's on late at night, the time difference and all of that.
Yeah,
Me and
yeah,
my
yeah.
best mate at the time, we stayed up watching it, and oh, I never forget because I go for Queensland, so you broke me bloody heart. You know,
I break
because New
everyone's heart
Zealand
in
was out and
Queensland.
Queensland.
They hated
Oh,
me forever. They still do now. I live in Queensland, so they remind me of that. You bastard!
oh.
You kicked that field goal.
But what about winning the longest ever match in history? Like, were you guys like gassed, or you just find another gear? Like, you managed to keep going?
Well, the funny thing is that, like, because after I think they went 5 minutes each way, and like no one knew what was going on, and I don't even think Bill Harrigan knew what to do. And
Oh, funny.
all I remember was Alf and Laurie at the with the ref, and I was standing right next to him, and then Alf says to Laurie, "I'll just flip you for it, eh?" Like Alf just wanted to flip a coin and heads or tails, and we'll just do it that way. And Bill Harrigan said, "No, no, no, we're not
No.
doing that. We're going to like golden points." So we knew
Right.
there and then what we were in for. So it was whoever got field position first was going to be the one that obviously go for that field goal.
Mate, unbelievable. It's such a great piece of history. I love it. So, but in a very unusual twist of events, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Rick Kamali filled in for you at Hunter while you were
Yeah.
playing State of Origin, and then he took your spot. And
Oh,
you got
it was weird. Like I've just
unbelievable.
I come off this massive high, and then I get back to training on Tuesday, and then Graham Murray's called me into a meeting, and I'm thinking he's just calling me in to say congratulations, mate, well done, blah blah blah, and he's come in and told me he's dropping me back to Reggie's. It was
Unbelievable.
like, oh, mate,
What the hell?
it was a bitter pill to swallow.
I bet.
And yeah, we didn't really see eye to eye after that, and
I bet.
yeah, so no, things went a bit pear shaped for me that way, and
Okay.
yeah, I would like knowing a few friends of mine who know Graham Murray. He says that was probably one thing he regrets doing, and
Okay.
look, I'm all good with it now, and I understand people do things for certain reasons. And he said to me at the time, he goes, "I'm going to play Brett this week." He goes, "I just think he's better player than you at the moment," and I sort of, that was hard for me to swallow, and
I bet.
I just, I said, okay. I didn't blow up or nothing. I just thought, oh, well, what that wasn't going to achieve anything for me to blow up anyway. So it was hard to swallow, but I walked straight out. I told Brett Morley, "Hey, mate, me and you are fine. I've got no issues with you, mate. So you go
Yeah.
do what you got to do." Yeah, and
Oh,
I
what a
just
good man.
spent the rest of the time in reserve grade.
Unreal. Did you get to play in that World Club Challenge that where the
Nah,
British
well,
teams came over?
I just I did play in the World Challenge. We went over with I went over with the Mariners, and
Yeah.
at at the end in the final I didn't go. I just told him I wasn't available, mate. I wasn't going.
Okay.
I just pulled the pin on him and said I had an injury, and I said I'm not coming. So yeah,
Wow.
by that time, me and Graham Murray weren't on real talking terms
Neighbours.
anyway. So
Right.
I wasn't going to get a start over there anyway. So I was wasting my time going over. So I said, no, I'll just stay home.
Okay, all right. So
Mm,
into 1997, Hunter Mariners, I think, pretty well overachieved, like made the final of the World Club Challenge. You've had a
yeah.
pretty decent season for a team just thrown together, and then Super League's come to an end. It's all dissolved and the NRL's formed. How did you end up at the Adelaide Rams? I hear there's a bit of a switcheroo with Kevin Campion went on.
Yeah, I was all lined up to go to Cowboys, to be honest. Tim Sheen
Oh,
said, I
really?
want you to come up to Cowboys, yeah. And
Okay.
I was all sweet to go to the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden, Super League had stepped in and said I couldn't go up there like until the following year,
Okay.
1999. So and then Adelaide obviously were calling me and saying they wanted me down there, but I really wasn't keen to go down to Adelaide.
Okay.
I just heard that there was a few rumblings in the camp about the players weren't getting on with Rod Reddy, and I just didn't want to go down to a shit fight really. But
Fair enough.
once I got down, like in the end, I got probably a month away from the preseason, and I still hadn't committed to anyone. And
Okay.
I said to my wife, I want to play. I don't want to not play this year. I need to play. And anyway, Liz Dawson, Kiwi, she was CEO at the time of the Rams, and she rang me and dangled a bit more carrot for me to go down there, and
Okay.
so I just said, yep. I committed to her, and she said, "When can you get down there?" I said, "I'll be down there next week," and so we packed up and headed down for the year to Adelaide.
Yeah.
Which, in the end, when I got down there, I had some former Dragons there, Roddy Maybon and a few others, so it made my
Yeah.
transition pretty easy. And footballers, mate, 95% of them or 99% of them are good blokes. So we all
Yeah.
know what makes us tick, and we just get on with the job, and we sort of socialised pretty well as well. So it was pretty easy to go down there and hang out with the boys and play some footy.
Nice, man. So how were the confidence levels after the whole Graham Murray debacle? Like, were you sort of back on track with your confidence?
Oh yeah, it was sort of it did knock me around a little bit, but I just knew, like Dragons, mate, I just got to get in and work hard, and
Yeah.
we we weren't the one of the top teams in Super League, the Rams, but pretty much it was a lot of guys trying to break into a permanent first grade spot. So,
Right.
we did the best we could with the team we had. So yeah, but we had fun as well. So it was a good
Yeah.
experience for my family. Yeah.
You get to the end of 1998 and it's announced that the Rams are folding. So now you're on the lookout for your third club. There's clubs merging. There's the Dragons are going with Illawarra, and you've got Balmain and Western Suburbs joining up, and crazy times for rugby league. And the Rams are folding, and now you're on the lookout for your third club in 3 years. So what goes through your mind as a player when that happens?
Well, I was already committed to Sheensy anyway, so I already
Okay.
yeah I had a club lined up. Like I knew I was only at Adelaide for 1 year. I knew that, they knew that.
Okay.
So I told them from the outset, I'm only here for 1 year. I'm going to the Cowboys after this. So yeah,
Yeah.
everyone knew where I stood and what I was doing. So yeah, I was just down there for 1 year with the Rams, and yep, I was the following year I was heading up the Cowboys.
So what was the appeal of the Cowboys? So why did you choose to head up north? Was it going like wanting to go to Queensland, or was it Tim Sheens, or what was the attraction?
Well, yeah, to be coached by Tim Sheens was
Nice.
yeah, very sort of high on my priority list. So
Okay.
they had a very good squad up there as well.
Yep.
Ian Roberts was up there. We had
Yeah.
Timmy, we had Julian O'Neill. Like we had some very good players up there. So I thought that we had a good squad, and obviously, yeah, I was looking forward to joining them.
Yeah, man. You got to play alongside the late Paul Green in the halves. Like that must have been a wonderful experience. From what I hear, is ultra fit and just a complete professional.
Mate, fitness, that guy is unbelievable. Yeah, he's he just keeps running, Greeny. He was a freak. There was two guys. The old beep test we used to do. There was two guys that just stood out for me: Anthony Mundine and Paul Green. Like
Wow.
most guys would be 12, 13. Them guys are just ticking into 15 and 16 like freaks. Yeah, just freaks.
Unbelievable.
Mm.
That's
So
amazing.
yeah, that was good. That was a good experience playing with Greeny as well, because we had a bit of a rivalry when I was playing with the Dragons. He was at the
Yeah.
Sharks, so there was
Yes.
a fierce rivalry between us, and put that to bed when obviously we got to play together. So
Nice.
yeah, we did that, and it wasn't a real successful time at the Cowboys. We didn't really go that well. I thought we'd do a lot better than we did, but yeah, it was just for me. Playing halfback for me was on the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Where this time I had to play left and right with Paul, so
Okay.
I found it hard to adjust to that. I wasn't for me. I didn't feel like I was getting my hands on the ball enough, and
Okay.
sort of would fade in and out of games. Where if I'm on the ball, I'm constantly out on the ball, always
Right.
probing. opportunities where it just it you don't realise this until it's all done, and so that was probably one thing I sort of regret not talking to Sheensy about. But
Okay.
he had his game plan, and he had Paul Green there as well. So I understand it was probably to play two halfbacks the way we did was probably not the right thing to do. So yeah,
Okay.
in my, but anyway, that's how it worked out.
Yeah, man. Well, they're completely different positions, essentially, aren't they? One on the ball, one's like a running sort of half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now they play that now. Like not too many of them play on the ball. It's left and right, and it's just
Okay.
yeah. Whereas at St George, I'd be on the ball the whole time, and Mundine's just waiting. And whenever he says, "Yeah, I'm ready," so I'd shoot it to him. But yeah,
Yep.
we had to sort of adjust my game as well, and I don't really think that sort of helped me in any way.
Okay. But, you were named captain of the Cowboys. So is that something you were quite proud of and you loved the role of being captain?
Yeah, well, then obviously captain any first grade side's an honour and a privilege. So,
Yep.
to be a captain of the Cowboys, obviously honoured to do that because there were some great players up there, and to be named a skipper at a few games is very rewarding, and I'm proud to have that beside my name as well. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So after 2 years at the Cowboys, you called time on your career. Like, how did you know it was time and to hang up the boots? And how did you feel when you'd made that decision and come to the end of your time?
Well, I just I wasn't enjoying the game actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to a point where the Cowboys we weren't real successful, and obviously losing your confidence takes a battering as well. And a rugby league player with playing with no confidence is not a very good player. So, and
No.
that's what I was doing. I was playing with no confidence. We trained pretty hard at the Cowboys at the time too, and the heat was something that was
Yeah,
hard to get used to.
I bet. I bet.
So, like, and once again, it's like I didn't speak up at the time, and I should have. Like, I was tired a lot of times going into games. I was just not feeling like I wanted to play. I was
Okay.
tired. So I was turning up the games just mentally not in the right frame of mind, and so I just knew I wasn't enjoying it become a chore to me, and I thought, no, I can't. I've got to tap out, and yeah, so I just made that decision to retire.
Fair enough, man. All right. So when you look back at your career, was there one particular thing that stands out above the rest?
Well, people ask me this a bit about some special moments, and I remember a game we played the Bulldogs at the
Okay.
Sydney Cricket Ground, all right, in the old Sydney
Nice.
Cricket Ground where they had the hill, and
Yep.
the atmosphere in that joint was something I've never experienced before. Um, it was pretty much a full house,
Yeah.
and anyone knows the Bulldogs fans back in the day, they were a pretty rowdy bunch, as well as the Dragons, because we had Skull leading the crew there, and
Yes. Yes.
so it was really intense. And all the games against the Bulldogs were very intense games and pretty pretty physical as well. So I just remember that game. It stands out to me like it's one of my favourite games. We end up winning the game, of course, and I just remember that's one of them moments you remember for the rest of your life. Obviously, the field goal is another one in the grand finals, but
Yeah.
there's games throughout the year. I scored 3 tries against the Western Reds one day. That was
Yep.
my hat trick. So yeah, there's lots of games. There's some we don't remember.
Yeah.
People ask me about the CTE. Obviously, it's a concern amongst our players and former players. So they asked me if there's any games I don't remember. I remember once against the Sharks. We come in at half time, and I'm just sitting there like in a daze. And I said to the guy next to me, I said, "Are we winning?" And he goes,
We just
"Yeah,
won.
yeah." He goes, "We're in front of." I said, "Mate, I just do not remember nothing about that first half."
Oh, oh
So
God.
it was crazy, yeah, just to think like that. But I went out in the second half.
Oh, that's what we
Yeah,
did in the day, eh? Oh,
I
God.
think I'm pretty sure we end up winning.
You know,
So
there's a season you kicked 10 field goals. I think it was 96.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
impressive, man. I don't know
I
if
know.
anyone's done that.
No, it was just one of them years. I just thought nothing was going on, and I just thought we'll just punch a field goal. And I think it was more psychological, like for the other team, like and they
Yeah.
put some seven behind, like so. It's just something I done, and no one ever said nothing. Brian never said anything, or David Wade about doing stuff like that. So, and the team were all good with it. So,
Yeah. Why
yeah,
not? Snap the one. Love it. Love
ah,
it.
take one if there's nothing happening. Just take 1 point. I
Yeah,
remember,
man.
yeah, I remember we played the Tigers once, and Benny Elias, he's we were beating him pretty easy, and he says to me like, "Oh, what are you kick another field goal like that?" And so I did. I think
That's gold.
I kicked three that game, because I
Oh,
kicked
God.
two, and yeah, the third one he said to me, "Why don't you kick another field goal like being a smart ass?" And I said, "I will." And then bang, I banged another one.
That Benny. Oh, how good, man. What a
So
legend.
yeah, so
Oh,
no.
awesome, man. Right. Let's finish with a couple of fun questions I ask everyone. Right. You played for a few clubs. So who is the team you support in the NRL these days?
Obviously a soft spot for the Dragons. I'd like to see the Dragons do well all the time. I've got the obviously Cowboys as well.
Yep.
But I really like the way the Storm operate. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, I really like watching their style of play. Then they're constantly a new stars turning up at the Storm.
I know. Crazy, eh?
Bellamy, Bellamy was he was assistant coach in the Tri Series. So
Right.
I had a little bit to do with him there, and yeah, so he obviously he's gone on to way better things from there, and yeah, he's one of the great coaches of the NRL.
Yeah, man. You wait till that Suafar logo gets a full-time fullback spot. He is unbelievable. Oh, he's gonna be
Yeah,
unbelievable.
yeah, I know. Yeah, the thing, you guys produce some great players from New Zealand, and the
Yeah,
guys
man.
are now they're full time in the NRL, so you're seeing that the international game now is a lot stronger as well. So
Yeah.
it's just great for the World Rugby League, I reckon.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love the international game. It's been so good having test match footy on again. Love it.
Yeah, I know. So good. Like even though I'm an Aussie, I was hoping the Tonga probably knocked the Aussies over on the weekend. They went close, but
Yeah,
Aussies again just
it's
they
too
just
good.
showed their class. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Right. Totally unleague related. What's your favorite TV show or TV series of all time?
Oh, what am I watching? Oh, geez, I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV, so yeah,
No,
I'm
back
not.
in the day.
Back in the day, TV shows. Oh, I don't know, MacGyver or something like.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a great answer. As
yeah,
a kid, that's
yeah. I
so
don't know.
cool.
Yeah, I've never been a big fan. I remember watching a couple of movies, Robert De Niro and stuff like
Yeah.
this great. Um, Heat was a good one.
Yep.
Robert, I think it was Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. I think Heat. That
Nice.
was one of my favorite movies. Yeah, so back in the
Brilliant. We'll
day,
go with that. Awesome. Right. Last question, man. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
be a baked dinner lamb, mate. Lamb.
Beautiful. Yeah.
My nan.
Yeah, mate.
I grew up every Saturday when I was a kid. My grandmother used to cook me a baked lunch. We'd go down and visit her, and every Saturday it'd be a lamb. She'd do it. Well, she said she was doing it especially for me.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Thanks, man.
like, yeah, yeah. So I continue that sort of tradition on, and we most Sundays we're doing a roast as well. So not always
Yeah.
lamb. Sorry, Nan. Sometimes
Oh, mate.
pork belly or something else. So yeah, it's always some sort of roast on a Sunday.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for giving me your time and coming on the podcast, going back in the day with me. An absolute treat to meet you and hear the stories. And Meet a Hunter Mariners player, finally.
Tick that off your list now. You're done.
Yeah, man, it's been on the bucket list for a while.
Good stuff. Pleasure, Dave. Thank you for your time, mate, and having me on your show. And all the best to the Kiwis.
Thanks, man. And thanks everyone out there for watching, listening on YouTube and Spotify. I've been your host, Dave. This has been the incredible Noel Goldthorpe. We've been back in the day. We'll see you next time for kickoff.
There you guys. Take care. Thanks for having me.
Full time.